Well, hello again, everyone. Hope we're all doing very, very well out there. And, hey, kind of up and down, and in the middle, and different places here and there. Interesting couple of weeks here and there, but a lot of things to catch up on, a lot of media pickup stuff, and some other things that kind of update you about where things are going on the channel right about now. But let me let you know that we've got the entire commentary out for Escape from New York, which has been performing fairly well in that regard. We got everything out from all the stuff from The Stand last month. We got Darkman out, and now we got Escape from New York. The one for The Blob is coming up roughly about next week. I'll drop it somewhere around maybe late next week or something like that, here and there and everywhere. So somewhere in the next 7 days, I'll probably drop in that regard, so you guys can enjoy that ahead of when we record our next batch of commentaries, which is very early in the month. We're doing kind of a quick turnaround in that regard, because Steve has some blocked out dates where he's not going to be available, so we figured earlier in the month is better than later in the month. So we'll be doing commentaries for The House of the Devil and Late Night with the Devil. So our Devil double feature type of thing. I've got to get to watching the Ty West film first, which is up on Tubi right now. And I believe Steve does have it on Blu-ray for us to watch properly in that regard. But either way, I can probably grab it one way or another, depending on how I feel about the film after I watched it. But we're getting up on that in due time. And we got a Total Recall video out. Finally got that done. And it was this ties into whole different things about where things were kind of going and not going and things in that regard or whatnot. So I finally jumped on the whole thing when I finally got all the materials, got the 4K, I got all the things I needed for the whole thing. I got my time plotted out to do things right and got my research in order and stuff like that. And I absolutely loved, I had a blast revisiting the whole film. It was a great time. I loved the video I put together for it. Hope you guys watch it. If you haven't, go check it out. Like Living Hell, it's a great piece of work. I think I did a really great piece of work covering the film in as much detail as possible in that regard. But right now, we had a little, well, I did anyway, had some difficulties because as I mentioned before, I was starting production on the Human Target TV series retrospective. And I wrote the whole thing out. I eventually recorded all the audio bits for the whole thing. And then I got a cold. And I got a cough, and I about lost my voice, more or less, for about a week or so. And that became a problem. So we had to delay the recording of the commentaries for about a week or such. And then so on and so forth. But regardless of that, so I got everything done. I started editing the thing, and then slowly as time went on, as I worked on this, it became far more apparent how much work and how tedious the process of editing this video, which is roughly about 45 minutes, covering the entire 2 seasons of the show in very particular detail. And eventually I was like, at first I'm like doing like any of the audio, then I'll throw in the clips and do the music and anything like that. And I eventually got to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to edit all the voiceover narration and just do that. Then once I got to the end of everything, I recorded and then did the re-recording bits after my voice came back. Then I started going after like splicing all the video clips in the whole thing, and it became very obvious that this is an extremely time-consuming edit. Because when I'm doing videos like this, when I'm doing the retro video series, doing regular movie review stuff where I'm on camera, it seems a lot easier to do because one, I've got my on-camera footage to cut to when I want to just kind of talk about things where I don't have to constantly illustrate certain things. I can let myself on camera talk for a certain period of time. But as this entire thing where I'm not on cameras, audio in that regard, it's saying I have to find clips between 25 different episodes. They're all 44 minutes apiece. I have to constantly go back and search through different episodes to find 5 seconds worth of a clip to splice into the edit, and then go back in, find another clip. It became very apparent this past week. This has caused me a lot of stress because I'm putting in hours worth of work to maybe got about 90 seconds worth of an edit in the timeline done. It's just very, very time consuming. It's like I kept, like eventually, like because I took a week off from work from about Wednesday to the following this past Tuesday. And I finally got okay. I was kind of working like later in the night. And I figured, okay, one of these days, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday or whatnot, I decided I'm going to start on this early, like in the afternoon, and kind of work on it and work on it. And eventually get just like, I've edited like 2 minutes worth of footage in the last like couple of hours. And it's not even me. I even stopped like editing in music. It's just me trying to find clips to splice in the whole thing because, one, as it seems the content ID system has got a lot more sensitive, where years ago, it used to be like you could put like a 9-second clip in the video and it wouldn't get snagged. Then eventually got down to like 8 seconds, then like 6 and 5. Now it's like I have everything below like 6 seconds now to make sure I don't get hit with a copyright claim that I have to fight and go around in circles with and cause myself more undue stress. Either I have to go back and re-edit the thing, or I got to fight around the system. If it doesn't get blocked, then I have to do the 30-day thing and blah, blah, blah. It just gets to a major problem where it's just like you spend so many weeks working on an edit, you just want it done. You think it's done, but it's not done because you got to fuck around this shit. So you have to preemptively try to work around their system and put in shorter and shorter clips. So that becomes a lot more daunting, where before I could do a 9-second clip, one 9-second clip. Now I got to find 2 5-second clips or 2 4.5-second clips. And it's very daunting, especially with a TV series that's shot in a certain way where a lot of the action sequences they're very short edits in a certain way. It's like there's a second or two passes before another clip cuts around, so it's hard to cut it together and find enough action clips that don't feel like they're too just disjointed, where I'm switching what clips I'm putting into the timeline like every couple of seconds. So it's just a daunting task going through everything like that. It was just like everything I realized whenever it was I was doing this, like Tuesday or so, I just realized this has caused me a lot of goddamn stress. Like, it's really stressing me the fuck out. Because I worked on it like a day or two beforehand. That caused me stress, and I'm working on it again. It's like I'm getting really stressed out. And this is supposed to be a week where I'm supposed to de-stress myself. I'm supposed to kind of relax, have a nice time, not put undue pressure on myself, and it was just counterproductive in that regard. Now, this doesn't mean the video is scrapped. It's just on ice for now. So I have to kind of like work on it between projects. Because right now, I'm moving forward. We're trying to get the Angel Heart one done. I just started the audiobook today, and so I'm going to work around to see how fast I get through the audiobook. And then once that's done, I'll work on getting up to shooting the video, maybe by the end of this next week. Something like that. We'll see how it goes. So I was like, okay, that's a lot of work. Because this, like I said, it's a 45-minute video. I've only got maybe about 10 minutes edited. And I've been working on this thing for over a month, from writing the thing, and then recording the thing, and then starting to some edit stuff, then re-recording some stuff, and going in and edit more stuff. The Brimstone retrospective I did 9 years ago, which is only for a 12-episode series, took me a month to put together. This is 2 seasons, totaling 25 episodes. And that video was like 20 minutes or so. This one's more than double the length of that. So there you go. You do the math, it comes together in terms of like the amount of time I have to put into this. And even then, back then, I didn't have a full soundtrack to work with to kind of lay music beds through the entire thing. This thing, I'm trying to put a lot of music beds through the entire thing to highlight the fabulous score put together, at least for season 1, to use that through the entire video there. So it's just a lot of work. So as it is. So it's going to come along. Eventually, it'll get done when it gets done. But I didn't want to keep pushing, dedicating time to that, and to keep pushing everything else back, because that's not what I want to do. That's more pressure on myself. If I want to get these horror reviews out throughout October, then if I spend another 3 weeks working on the Human Target, I got like 2 weeks left to put together 2 pretty meaty videos. That's not the right way to go about it. So as I go through and kind of like, okay, I kind of work on Angel Heart, I got to dip back into Human Target a little bit for a couple of days, whatnot, kind of lightly go in there, not try to pressure myself on the whole thing. Just try to find a way to work on it that's not stress-inducing, but still get some progress going every so often. So this might be a November video. It's fine. It's just, again, giving you perspective, because I mentioned I'd probably be open to doing a similar video for Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which is even more episodes. It's like a half season, then a full season after that, so that gives me a lot of pause. And it has to give me, if I ever plan to do it, takes a lot more pre-planning of how I want to go about attacking that idea. And so, I live and learn. So, that's progressing as it will progress. And the Angel Heart thing is just on the beginning steps to move forward on it, but anything like that. So that's all I have for the immediate future about what's going on production-wise and the commentaries and stuff like that here and there. And anything else is just going to have to evolve when I get closer to November and figure out where things land in that regard. A couple ideas bouncing around, but it's too far off to have any kind of concrete feeling about what November might have in store in terms of videos produced for you guys. But at least, I may have mentioned this stuff before, for commentary-wise, November, we're going to be doing a 30th anniversary commentary for GoldenEye, and then we're actually going to jump into a couple of the Rocky films. Now we're not starting from the beginning. We're doing kind of a special dip in and dip out. We're going to do Rocky 3 in November, and then we're going to do something else in December. Sorry, for the beginning of the month. We haven't quite nailed down what we're doing. We got some options floating in the air. Nothing concrete yet, but since the climax of the film takes place on Christmas, we're doing Rocky 4 for Christmas as well. Now that's going to be the theatrical cut. Eventually next year, early next year, we do plan to cover the director's cut in its entirety, because unlike the entire thing we did back in the day for Halloween 6, where we did like a full theatrical cut that we kind of just decided to tack on doing commentary for the final act of the producer's cut of the film, because there was such a radical change there, where the rest of the stuff in the producer's cut is a little bit more slight changes, little extensions here and there. We didn't feel like it was necessary to go back through the entire film to comment on the little things here and there. We could really kind of just comment about the generalities between the differences throughout the entire films. Steve has definitely reinforced the fact that the director's cut of Rocky IV is a vastly different film, and I've gone through looking at some information about it, which I haven't watched the version of the film yet, because I just have the old Blu-ray set and everything like that, but extensive differences, very much. Like scenes, brand new scenes added in, some things cut out entirely, some things rejiggered here and there, a lot of things to discuss. So we'll do Rocky IV for Christmas. I'll take a bit of a break. We don't want to do it like back to back. We want to keep a freshness about what we want to talk about. So we'll do some other things for January. We're going to do maybe that in February. Not entirely locked down to it. Might be February. It's kind of tentative exactly where it's going to land. But right now it's kind of penciled in for February, but not concrete February. But January since we both seen Final Destination Bloodlines months ago, and we both saw The Conjuring Last Rites. It was just fine. We'll probably have some things to talk about. We'll do it, because we figure like January, so we get all this other stuff out of the way. We could do like a nice kind of franchise catch-up type of thing in January, back-to-back, fresh new entries in horror franchises. I think it's an easy thing to slot in there. I kind of just do that, and then Final Destination Bloodlines 4K or whatever the hell it is probably going to be a little cheaper by January. And then I imagine The Conjuring Last Rites will probably be out on physical media sometime by January, I imagine. Usually there's maybe about a 2 or 3 month turnaround depending on how long the theatrical run lasts. But since it's been kind of having big drop off, it had a big opening weekend, but then it kind of like dropped off quickly in subsequent weeks. So I don't think they'll be having too long of a wait. Maybe December or something like that they'll drop it. Who knows? But I figure by January they'll probably have it out on disc and everything like that, so we can plan things out and get that done. So beyond that, I'll leave it off for another point in time. But that's what we got kind of plotted out for the next couple of months, where we plan to go and do things. Because with the Rocky things, we just felt like the first Rocky is a phenomenal film. It was one of the best films ever made, I think. Rocky 2 has interesting things, but I felt like those are much more deliberately paced dramas that maybe don't akin themselves to the kind of chatty commentary we typically prefer to do, where we kind of face some of those kinds of problems sometimes with the much more longer films we cover in some places, where it's like it maybe have some dead spots or things don't quite move quite as fast in the story. There's not as much really kind of things to talk about, or maybe we don't kind of retain as much attention for the audience in that regard. So I just feel like we felt like 3 and 4 are kind of like the most popcorn films possible. They really have the most things to kind of discuss on that level in terms of like all the things we typically get to talk about and everything like that. There's a lot of flashy 80s stuff in those films that are very much demand a lot of chatter from us in terms of a conversation to talk about various sort of things in that regard. So we can also talk about the things on either sides of the franchise, stuff like that, as we go through the films and comment on things here and there. So we just felt like it's a good thing to kind of jump in and jump out between those two different films and do the director's kind of four as well. So we just thought it was like the best thing for us, instead of kind of like start with the really kind of like thick drama stuff and then go with the popcorn stuff and kind of go off to ups and downs in a franchise that is mostly drama stuff, but 3 and 4 are much more the like summer popcorn films that could definitely, the Rocky 4 didn't come out in the summer, but you get my drift as big Hollywood popcorn entertainment stuff instead of the much more low-key drama stuff in a certain way. But we just thought that was the best angle to go for. Well, we can also discuss, like I said, other things in the franchise ancillary to those commentaries while we do them. So there's that. And we're going to talk about a lot of media pickups. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of varied stuff as well. And where I want to go. Let me just start out with the thing that after I think I was working on the Human Target edit on Sunday, and I just got really freaking fried. I got really fried, and I needed to kind of circle my way around to something else that kind of, since I'm on vacation, I'm supposed to do things that are fun and things that are recreational, things that I don't typically have as much time for. And I decided, well, since I bought this, I figure, okay, I'm going to just break this out and grab it. And there's something else I need to grab. I don't know where the hell I'd put it right now. I'll figure it out in the due time here. But I think it's right up here, so I can talk about that momentarily. But I grabbed up this Jessica Jones trade paperback from Marvel Comics, because I read the one that was The Blind Spot, and this was the direct follow-up to it, because the end of that one has a direct setup for where this one goes, called The Purple Daughter, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I read this in one day. I started about 11, like I said, it was a long day, long night, so I started reading this about like 11 p.m., even sat outside on the balcony and everything like that, started reading the whole thing, and then I finished it the next day when I went out for a walk in a park. Just sat outside, read half of this thing, just sitting out on a really nice day in the park, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this entire thing, because as the story is progressed with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, who are now married and have a daughter together, her daughter eventually, as Kilgrave in the comics is the Purple Man, her daughter turns purple, and it creates this entire mental, psychological problem for like this entire psychological stress for and everything like that. And I keep reading this stuff, and like every single one of these stories, like I said last time, like every one of these stories, they get her characterization so absolutely perfect for what I know her from Kristen Ritter's portrayal, the whole thing. Like they write her so consistently across all these books, the audiobooks I did, the comics I've already covered here. It's like, it's so good. And like, so this is set in the actual Marvel Comics universe. You've got Carol Danvers showing up. You got Daredevil. You've got Emma Frost showing up and various other things. So like I was just very pleased by the whole thing. I didn't, up on my Comic Geeks app and everything, that League of Comic Geeks, I only gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. It was a good story. The artwork is pretty good. I'm just trying to find the right pieces of artwork to kind of show off in some place, but there's like, it's good artwork. It's not the most fabulous stuff I've ever seen in my life, but it's good. It's got moody qualities to it. It's well laid out. It's very easy to follow from panel to panel, so that's good. But not saying there's anything bad about it. It's like, I just know there's a level of excellence, and there's things that are just really good. Some things are absolutely fantastic, the best things I've ever read, and some things are just like, they're really good stories. They're not the absolute breakthrough best things ever, and that's perfectly fine to have. I'm happy to have this. I'm happy to have Blind Spot. I have to have this. And just like, they're really good stories, and I related to Jessica's strife in the entire story. It's like, there's so many points where it's just like, oh my God, just like, it hits me. In some places, like, there's moments in this thing that just, I don't even want to show them because they're spoilerific in some places, but like, there's moments of like, your heart just sinks, and it's like, oh my God, you're just existential terror for what she's going through. And it's so well written. It's really well drawn. Like I said, it's very clean art and stuff like that. So it's like, I really, really like this. I believe this was previously a digital exclusive. Then they put it in print because I guess it was just like it was really hitting off very well. So I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I read it in a day, less than 24 hours. I read this thing like I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time with this whole thing, and it made me feel really good. These Jessica Jones stories. I really love the character. I love the fact that Kristen's coming back and playing the character. She was just at LA Comic-Con on stage talking about the entire character. I didn't really listen to everything like that, but I just saw that she was up there and just having the best time, everything like that. And I did decide to grab up because this was on the Labor Day sale for half-price books. And they had the original, like, Volume 1, the Jessica Jones Alias one from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaydos is the artist on the whole thing, and I was kind of hemming and hawing because I wasn't. So the artwork has some moody qualities. I haven't read through the thing yet, but it's got some moody qualities. But there's some points where it feels a little. Some of the art just feels a little chunky to me in a certain way. Here and there, and everywhere, it's like there's some parts that look a little heavy on the inks and the blacks and the lines and stuff like that. They didn't quite feel as appealing to me, but it's like, okay, well, if I want to read more Jessica Jones stories, this is the only other team that worked on all the other stuff, all the regular series, so I got to jump into it. And this is the Volume 1. I kept finding like Volume 2 and Volume 3 everywhere else, but this one over in Downers Grove actually had Volume 1, so I got it for about, I think it was 20% off, and it was selling for a good amount of money or whatnot. Apparently, I'm looking at, there was a Goodwill sticker on the back for $3.99, and there's another sticker on the back for $6.97. I paid about $10 for the whole thing, so go figure. And I'm not sore. I mean, this is a pretty thick one. I mean, compared to this one's here, this one's getting a little thicker in that regard, but I'll jump into it in due time and stuff like that. So cool stuff in that regard. And there's some music stuff, because like I said last time, there was the Warning concert that was being released in theaters, in AMC theaters and other theaters down in Mexico and stuff like that, and I went to see it. And it's kind of odd sitting there in a theater watching a concert film, where you're not really interacting with the entire thing. And there's only got maybe barely was even a dozen people in the theater on a Thursday night, and so on and so forth. But I feel like you should be doing something more on the entire. Like if I had like a real rabid crowd, that'd be one thing. But if you got a couple of people that are just kind of sitting there watching the thing and they're not having that kind of big reactions, like it just feels like you could stuff here and there and whatnot. But it was great. The production values were sky high in the whole thing. The entire concert was just absolutely brilliant. Just like everything just felt like the biggest thing possible. Like they just have that level. I love the fact that Denny, Pow, and Ali, whether they're playing a little venue for a couple hundred people or at a venue like this in Mexico City, playing to thousands and thousands, like 10,000. I think it's almost like a 10,000 seater auditorium they're at. They play the same way. They play the same level of everything like that. They play that same thing, and that's how you know you have one of the best bands. Because like a Rolling Stones or Metallica, they're going to give you the same energy. Where the size of the venue is, wherever it is, they're going to give you the same level of show from what they can give on stage. Might not have as much of the big production value and stuff like that, but they will give you every ounce of energy, every ounce of showmanship they have. That's when you know you have the best things. If someone's going to be up on the smaller stage, less people, and they're going to give less of a performance, then you know, like they're not cut out for this whole thing. But when you have a band like this, when I've seen them in these smaller venues, and then you see them in this big giant concert film that's probably shot in like 4K with I think there's like 40 cameras they had, and all this production value is like, god damn, that's the same level of effort they put into every single show. No matter what you see, if you're watching clips on YouTube, anything like that, you'll see the same level of enthusiasm, excitement, and energy they put into every single performance. And just the fact is they have this entire big auditorium, and the level of the lighting schemes and all the different things they got going on, just polished to living hell. And it was just a really fantastic thing. So I'm hoping they're going to announce a release, like a physical release, the whole thing, a Blu-ray, a 4K, something like that. I'm sure they're going to wait because they just released the actual album. They released vinyl, and they also released on CD. And had to get this off of Bull. I think I got it off of Bull Moose because I had Amazon Prime at the time, but the day before the release date, they jacked the price up. It was like $19.99 from the day it got announced until like the Wednesday before the release date. Then Thursday, when I go see the film, the thing gets cranked up to like, I don't know, $27.99 or something else like that. I was like, screw this. I went on the Bull Moose. They had it on sale, and with the freaking shipping, it was still less than what Amazon's previous price was, even by a couple of cents. So like, sure, I'll wait a couple of extra days to get a proper, reasonable price for the whole thing. And this sounds absolutely fantastic. It's like, it's just, goddamn yes. So, the warning is just absolutely, just incredible. I've seen them twice on stage, and it's just absolutely just killer. Usually, I think a lot of these inserts now kind of work better for the actual vinyl ones because, I mean, the print on these things is really freaking small now. You blow this up to vinyl size, like, it's easy to read, but now I need almost a microscope for some of the stuff on here. But it's all just the credits of everything like that for the transportation and the production and everything like that. Album art, all that type of stuff, and a couple of black and white photos and the track listing on the back and stuff like that. But just stellar. I just absolutely loved watching it in theater. It was only in for a limited engagement, so you can't go see it anymore. I think they had a one-night screening for Hispanic Heritage Month, but that's passed by now. But anything like that, I just double CD album, live album, just like kicks ass. Absolutely kicks ass. Just awesome type of stuff. I got more. Because I decided to grab up, because I saw this got announced. I think this got announced like last year or something like that. But I just finally had to, because it was down to $16.99. Grab the Blu-ray audio version of the Purple Rain album, mixed in Dolby Atmos. I fucking loved it. Oh my god. They have it both Dolby Atmos and a high-res stereo mix, which is not the same as the recent remastered edition, because I bought the remastered deluxe edition on CD like 2017 or something like that. And I kept listening to it regularly and anything like that until a couple of months ago I decided, I want to kind of look at the waveforms on the whole thing, and it was definitely more compressed. And so I decided to go back and grab up the old version of the album, the old pressing, and now that's the one I listen to on my iPhone and iTunes and Apple Music stuff here and there. But this is the high-res stereo mix on this thing is a completely different master. It's much less compressed. It's lossless audio, but the compression, the dynamic compression, is much less. There's much more dynamic range on it. It's basically what I'm telling you guys. Much better dynamic range on that. But even the Dolby Atmos mix, it's a really different experience, and it sounds really wonderful. Oh my god! And I grabbed up the Fleetwood Mac Rumors one. I got that one for Christmas. I recently threw in my DVD audio version of Metallica's Black Album again, because I absolutely love that. Even though it's a compressed audio format, but hearing in 5.1 audio is definitely a little bit of a different experience. And I know that's not an easy one to grab anymore. That's like a 20-year-old format that's not going around anymore. But if Metallica ever does something like this, that might be something worth checking out as well. But moving things along, I also it was Labor Day weekend, but I was over our disc replay where they didn't have a sale going on. But thankfully, they had the Stevie Nicks Blu-ray of her Soundstage concert back in 2000. It was released in 2009. I think it might have been produced a year or two beforehand. But I had previously just had the DVD version. This does have linear PCM audio, but it's still standard definition. This is obviously this Blu-ray, and it has 5.1 DTS master audio or anything like that. Interesting enough, the DVD actually has a bonus track on it that this thing doesn't have. And when you look at the back, it's hard to show this stuff at the same time, but if you look at the back, there's different logos on the back of this thing. Apparently, seems like this was released more through WTTW here in Chicago, and there's a Sears logo on the back. There's a MasterCard sponsorship on the back. So it definitely seems like these were kind of handled slightly different, because this one looks like it was done through Reprise Records at Warner Brothers. So there's no Warner Brothers records logo on the Blu-ray. But the thing was, there was another disc replay that they shut down in the last year. And they probably moved all the stock over to this one and in another location. Well, this one had always been like $24.99. Now I got it for half that price. They're in the store for $12.99, and I said, absolutely, I'm grabbing that, no problem. I've been sitting on getting this thing for freaking years, because it's like, you're all asking for a little bit much more money than I want to pay for it. Because I already have this thing. A lot of the HD clips are up on YouTube, on our official YouTube channel. And so it was more just a thing of just having it and enjoying the best quality possible. But if it's going to be $25, $26 with tax or anything like that, I could buy it. But if I'm getting it for $13, you got a sale. And they had 2 copies there. So the fact that they had been probably over that other disc replay for 5, 6 some odd years or whatnot, and they hadn't sold, tend to bring the price down. So I went out. But now we move on away from all that stuff. Now we got some movies. We got movies to talk about. And I freaking love this. I got my Steelbook, a 4K Steelbook, the John Wick spin-off Ballerina. And I had to have this because it finally came back. Because it had been sold out, the pre-order had been sold out, and then I finally checked one day, and it came back. I was able to pre-order the damn thing. I signed up for like $1 for Walmart Plus to get the damn thing for the free shipping, and it's like this thing. I mean, I freaking look at this thing. Oh my goodness. The back, the little thing there is like, this looks, I don't watch the whole thing. I haven't watched the bonus features yet. I should have done that. But it's got the Blu-ray and the 4K in there, and this just looks fabulous. It looks pretty much exactly the way it looked and sounded in the theater too. Just like, oh my goodness. And just like, this was the best looking version of the whole thing that was out there, because, like I said when I talked about it several months ago, it was like, the fucking flamethrowers. Oh my god, the flames. The flames and the snow, the cold. Oh my god, I watched it again and I absolutely love the fucking action in this film. Plot's fairly standard. Some people kind of feel like it's not quite up to the level of the other John Wick films, but I'd be so on board having Ana de Armas come back and do another one of these things. I don't know if they're trying to do like a 5th John Wick film. God knows what that's going to be. I wouldn't mind her having a part in the whole film too. I don't know anything like that, but it's like whatever they're doing, I just ate this thing up like crazy. Like the action sequence, I know there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but like they had to go back and reshoot a bunch of things, amp up action sequences, stuff like that. I fucking got my ass kicked all over. I've watched this film 3 times this year. I saw it twice in the theater, once on disc, and I don't always go for the special packaging, but when I like a film that much, I saw it twice in the theater within a week, and then just was salivating to get this thing. It's like I just had to get this looking thing. It looks absolutely fabulous. Absolutely. So, there you go. And like I said, there's no commentary track in the whole thing. There's a couple of featurettes and some. I watched a couple of deleted scenes, a lot of extended bits in the whole thing. So you can see like the guy going through the thing. Nice thing you can pick up on the editing, and that like they shot a lot more things that they did edit together. But it probably felt like action sequence goes on too long. You have too many little frivolous things. You can focus it down better. It'll hit much harder. So I definitely felt, I was like, a couple of extra bits here and there, but I like the fact that they found the things in certain action sequences that kind of held with a gimmick. Because there's an entire thing where she goes into this gun shop to kind of arm up the entire latter half of the film, and she gets jumped by a whole bunch of band of bad guys, and she starts doing the entire thing with all these grenades and everything. So that they had, in the extended version of the scenes, had points where she's not doing that. She's having more fisticuffs or gunfight, stuff like that. I felt like the way they did in the final film, where they kept kind of focus on that idea carrying through the entire sequence so much, was the best idea. Kind of focusing on that kind of gimmick, if you want to call it that, but that sort of theme for that action sequence was a much better thing. And again, watching something like that, those extended sequences on the supplements, just shows the smartness of editing in that regard, especially with an action film, to see where, like I said, if you go on too long, you can kind of lose the interest of the audience. You want to be succinct, you want to be sharp, you want to point it on the whole thing, and if you make it go on too long, it kind of loses its impact, is what I'm saying. So if you keep the things focused, succinct, to the point, that's exactly the recipe you want in that regard. And like I said, it looked great, sounded great. Definitely recommend the disc in general, everything like that. So there's that. And I did grab up several weeks ago. I did grab up the Arrow 4K of the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Kind of hard to see anything. It's a very dark cover, but got the thing in upside down too. But I reversed the sleeve for the original poster art on the whole thing, and I just went through and watched most of the bonus features earlier today, and I really like the quality of what Arrow does with just what they do with their interviews. They're shot very nicely. They ask very good questions for the interviewee, talking with director Marcus Nispel, composer Steven Jablonsky, cinematographer Daniel Pearl, just talking about various things. And they get some interesting information out of them that I feel is like the entire thing is having a good interviewer and putting together the right questions to elicit the most interesting qualities of what you want to talk to them about, get out of them, stuff like that. So it's like I just like the quality, the stuff they did on the Friday the 13th remake reboot last year with Nispel and various other people, screeners as well. I love those interviews. They're absolutely just very, very, very informative. And I like the fact that with this one, they're like talking with Nispel and Pearl about that one entire shot in the film where the girl blows the back of her head off. And then the camera moves back and is pulling, is like dialing back and everything like that, all the way through the back of the van and all the way down, stuff like that, this big wide shot. They talked so much, both of them talked about how they achieved that. It's like, I love that quality of technique they talk about, various other things like that. I like Nispel. Both sets had very nice interviews with the man, discussing these parts of the entire film. It's really great stuff. I'm talking about composer of the entire film, Jablonsky, very informative in that regard, and a couple other interviews as well, like very good stuff. It's just like they do a really solid job. I spot checked the entire thing with Dolby Vision, looked really good, like sharp. Like there's a lot of things with cinematography in the film and the makeup, the design, and stuff like that. Just like they went through and made sure that like there's a lot of texture on screen, like faces, like the sweat and the grime and various other things and the blood and the makeup effects, stuff like that, really comes out so very nicely in 4K. And this is another thing where they went back to the original negative, they scanned it in, do all the different things, and just like it looks wonderful. It looks really, really good. I really liked how it looked. And I'll definitely be watching the full film this coming season, hopefully. I'll definitely be trying to be taking some time, because I'm not doing, at least not prospectively doing anything that's quite as large as like The Exorcist or the Silence of the Lambs videos were like hour, 10 minutes or something like that. But I have a little more time to kind of breathe in between the different videos I'm going to be producing, so hopefully I'll have a couple nights here and there to just kind of do a couple watch-throughs of different things in that regard, and enjoy that. But I'll probably get rid of the old Blu-ray, but I am not getting rid of the old DVD Platinum Series set, because anyone who doesn't have this thing, one has got this nice metal plate cover that was kind of stuck on the front, but look at this son of a bitch. Look at this thing. Whole digipack designed like a chainsaw. I'm not getting rid of this thing. I'm glad I found this buried in a storage tote somewhere, because I thought I got rid of it. I was so glad to find it again. And this thing's got like this is original DVD release, and they got like reproduction, like forensic photos and various other things like that. Like, this is a treasure trove of certain things. There are a couple of physical extras with the 4K. I need to pull out here in just a second. But this DVD set was a hot piece of work. They really knew how to market this stuff back in the day. It was really, really excellent how they put these packages together. So give me a second here too. put all this stuff back where it belongs. It'll cooperate. Doesn't want to cooperate. But 4K set comes with one affordable poster. I think it's double-sided. Let me get this thing out of here. Should prep this a little bit easier, but anything like that. So you got a little bit of original poster art and the new cover art they put together for the whole thing. And they also got a nice booklet on the whole thing, which has full color photos and a little bit of stuff here and there. I think it's mostly just photos, but there's a couple little pieces of liner notes here and there, so we'll see how it goes about. And cool stuff. Now, the last thing I have is Star Trek The Next Generation related, because, well, it's part of the Next Generation series. Now, I bought the entire series on Blu-ray back in like 2018. But the thing is, they also released like feature-length Blu-ray sets, like for Best of Both Worlds. They edited the entire 2-part episode into a complete like feature film-length thing, and it has exclusive bonus features on each one of these things. So you had Best of Both Worlds, you had Redemption, Chain of Command, and All Good Things. And I kind of set on getting the last one for a very long time, because it's one of the set that I'm not over the moon about, but I figured I got to complete the set. So eventually I decided to pull the trigger on the Unification one, where Spock shows up and guest stars and everything like that, ahead of the release of Star Trek VI. I talked about in my Star Trek VI review and everything like that. Maybe it's worth I kind of revisit in that regard to kind of see if there's anything fresh or new I want to talk about in that regard, or just feel about the entire thing in general. But I decided, it wasn't that expensive. I think I grabbed it off of Prime or whatnot, and it just came up and grabbed it, and so on and so forth. I actually grabbed this like a month or so ago, a month and a half ago, and I forgot about it in the last update. But I figured I'd just throw it in there. So technically, my TNG Blu-ray and 4K collection is complete. So I've got the entire series on Blu-ray. I've got these versions on Blu-ray. I've got them all the films on 4K, and there you go. And not much else to talk about in that regard. So that's interesting little stuff here. And not much else. I haven't really caught anything else theatrically. I haven't really been watching any other new series. Now, I was watching Strange New Worlds, and it's like this season was just such a polar opposite thing going on from like almost episode to episode. It's like I just quit. This thing shot me in the foot a couple of times. I'm just done. Like I liked the first 2 seasons, not entirely. I haven't liked everything this series has done the first 2 seasons. For the most part, I've enjoyed most things. I love the cast. I like so many of the characters so much. There's certain choices they make about certain tones and ways they go from different things hasn't really entirely won me over. And this season it just felt like it was just scattershot, and just it kept disappointing me. It just kept really just kind of like, this is bad. This episode's bad. This is no good. Anything like that. So I didn't even watch the last 3 episodes of the season. It's like I'm just done. It's like no. I know the stuff I'm hearing about. The fact that they shot 3 and 4 almost back to back, and 3 might have been impacted by writer strikes back when that was happening, because all that type of stuff. But I'm not looking forward to anything else. Because I was watching the first half of the season. I went up on Paramount Plus, and I was like, I'm going to cancel. And they gave me like, okay, you're going to have an extra month for free if you want. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take a free month, because what skin is it off my back? Then I started watching more, and it's like, no. I just let the thing lapse and decided, no, I'm canceling this thing entirely now. I'm not interested. I'm not going with this stuff anymore. Just like, and what wasn't working for me. So might work for other people. All the new Trek has so many wide diversities of opinions of various other things. So might not be my thing. Might be someone else's thing. But it's like it was just going off on so many different tracks back and forth, and it just wasn't. It wasn't consistent in its quality, and its storytelling and its tone and the way it was handling different things. It felt really kind of all over the place for me. So, nah. But I've got my TNG, I got my DS9, I got my Voyager. I do want to get Enterprise. I probably should get the TOS series on Blu-ray, but those things have cost probably about $100 altogether. So I'm just kind of holding off on that until some deal pops up. But speaking of things that cost about $100, in that regard, the Elm Street 4K standard slipcase version is on its way to me now. So Steve ordered the Steelbook version because he had to, because Freddy's his guy. Anyone knows about his Freddy's Dead poster where he's gotten so many people to sign it and everything like autographs. He's gone and met but almost everyone he could get in front of to get an autograph or anything like that. So he had to get the Steelbook version. And I decided to order the standard slipcase version from Bull Moose because at the price they had it for, which was still less than what Amazon was selling it for. They had it for under $90. So I figured they got a better price. Bull Moose is pretty good about shipping. Above the free shipping threshold. So I ordered that, plus a pair of Alice Cooper albums on CD. Because Trent and I, and probably some other people, are planning to go to the Alice Cooper Judas Priest concert coming up around here on October 5th. So I've never seen Alice in concert before. We kind of sort of did. Kinda. Barely. Because he was opening for Iron Maiden back in, I think it was 2013, but we got there late, and we barely saw any bit of Alice. Like the last song on the set, and then Maiden after that. So hopefully, probably this time we'll see all of Alice. And then I've seen Priest twice before. So Priest when they were doing Ozfest over 23 years ago, something like that. And I also saw them in 2018, and goddamn, oh my god. They are metal gods. Absolutely. Alfred is just gargantuan. The voice holds up. Everything like that. Everyone on stage is it's a powerhouse show. So Alice, Priest are coming around. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. And there's another concert I might go to later in the month, but I haven't really 100% committed myself for it, but most likely I will. And I do plan on seeing Black Phone 2 when it comes out in a little bit later in the month of October. I think it hits on the 17th, so I'll probably be checking it out right around there. But we'll probably save that for a commentary track. I mean, our commentary we did for the Black Phone, the first film, didn't really perform. It's unfortunate because we thought doing this entire thing of Sinister for a while, the Black Phone would be kind of a nice type of thing, and Sinister eventually got numbers up over time, but Black Phone 1 really just never crawled out of the hole in that regard, so we're just a little bit disappointed by that. We'll still keep the option open for covering it, but obviously we both have to eventually see it to kind of confirm whether or not we want to cover it in that regard, but I'm very, very hopeful with the film because what I've seen the film looks very exciting. So hopefully those things will go off well, and so see where things go from here on out. I know the GoldenEye thing, there was the entire thing announced for a 30th anniversary 4K theatrical re-release. Well, apparently so far they've only announced that in the U.S. it's only screening at Alamo Draft Houses, and there's maybe a dozen of them in the entire nation. We only got one of them here in Chicago. It's already all the way in Wrigleyville, so I would have to drive 45 minutes on the toll road and then fight for paid parking to go see it at a theater. For a film that I have on both on Laserdisc and on Blu-ray, there's a little too much. If I was release it in a fucking AMC theater, Cinemark, something like that. Something that why you release it in the theater chain that definitely has a good reputation, but has extremely few locations. Why you're promoting? Oh, it's a worldwide re-release. Well, it's more like a limited re-release. You're not really putting it out in 2,000 theaters or 3,000 theaters or something like that. Like Jaws, when it got put out in IMAX, you could pretty much, I don't know how available it was in a lot of different places, but it was out on IMAX screens. It was in plenty of theaters around here, a lot more theaters than what the GoldenEye is going to be re-released in, and various other things like that. Like Universal's also going to be re-releasing Back to the Future theatrically at the end of October. I'm sure that's going to be a whole lot of theaters. They're going to pump that out too, because Jaws, Back to the Future, very lucrative films for the back catalog of Universal. Put those films out, they sell. People want to go see them. I've seen Back to the Future multiple times in the theater. I've seen Jaws multiple times in the theater. I would love to see GoldenEye again in the theater 30 years after I saw it in the theater last time. So, unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen unless they say, oh, we made a deal with all these other theater chains. We're going to put it out here and there and everywhere. It was a little unfortunate. I was like, oh, yeah, go see this in 4K in the theater. Then the next month they're going to record a commentary. Like, I'll be fucking jazzed to live in hell. Doesn't seem like it might be happening in that regard, but here, there, and everywhere. So, leave you guys with that. Plenty of things for you to kind of chat about in the comments about everything I've talked about here, prospective videos coming up, the kind of stress I was dealing with the human target thing, and how that's going to be a lot more of a slow progression in that regard, filling in where I have a little lulls in between different projects, and kind of dealing with it on a more relaxed, more manageable schedule instead of trying like, oh my God, I'm putting all this work and I'm getting this, putting this much work to get this much result. It's like a bit arduous, but anything like that. So just leave you guys with the whole thing that my friend Oliver Harper has actually helped me a little bit with one of the videos I'm doing for October, provided me some materials for it, and I've also provided him with some materials for one of the videos he's doing in October. So we're just fantastic friends. I'm very happy that he's now wed and had a nice vacation, nice holiday for himself, and he's getting himself back up on his feet to kind of finish some other videos and get things going for October. So definitely check out Oliver's stuff if you haven't. He does phenomenal work. We've been great friends for 10 plus years, something like that. I've been on his Patreon since day one, back in when we launched, over 11 years ago, something like that. Long ass time ago. So I've just been a mainstay on his Patreon for all that time, and we help each other out with stuff here and there. I helped him with his John Carpenter's The Thing video a year or so ago, and various other things. So we were just always kind of helping each other out here and there when I have something on a Blu-ray edition that was from the U.S. or something like that, and he doesn't. He's got the UK version. They got different bonus features. We kind of try to supplement each other to kind of give us the maximum amount of material to produce the best videos in that regard, the most comprehensive stuff overall. So a little bit of help back and forth. It kind of just constantly favors in that regard. So check out Oliver's stuff, and there's always the Patreon for myself. Super Things features here on YouTube to contribute anything monetarily directly through YouTube, but also, guys, commenting, liking, subscribing if you haven't, and sharing links around help the channel grow and stay healthy with the algorithms and all the other crap, because nobody has any clue how the fucking algorithm actually works. You just do the best and try to promote things as best you can. So, guys, thanks much. Take care.